Gyara dosto, bitch, sono 10 minutos from now. It's your girl, Niti Girl, and you're on Niti Cooks. So today is Tharka time. I know some of you are going to need to watch this episode numerous times. And if it had been out when I started cooking, I would have watched it 100,000, okay? So today is about learning. Today is about knowing. Knowledge. So some of the things we're going to go over today is what do you need to make the tharka happen, what kind of tharka goes in which sabjis, and how can your tharka bring all the boys to the yard. Find out all this right now. So first thing first, for your tharka, let's go over what kind of veggies you're going to need. You are 100% going to need the adrak and the lasan. Or the lasan and the adrak. I don't know. Ginger and garlic are two very main ingredients. They're going to go in all of your dishes. You're going to need them. When I used to first buy ginger at the grocery store, I would get just like a little nubbin. And then soon my needs grew. So a good size like this will probably last you about 2 weeks depending on how much sabji you're doing. Garlic is super cheap, so you'll probably get a pack of 3, but basically you will need 4 to 5 per recipe, but I'm going to show you exactly what I mean by that. Okay? You're also going to need an onion. Some people use red onions, some people use white onions. I like to think the base of tharka is always made with white onions. Now this is because we want the base of the tharka to dissolve. It's not going to be visible in any of your sabjis or your dal. So if you're using a red onion, that's a little bit more to add color to your sabji and not so much for the flavor. So make sure you have an onion. That's basically it. Beyond that, you're going to need green chilies, which I didn't pull out of my freezer, but un momento por favor. I bought a bunch of serrano peppers and I can never use the whole pack, so I just freeze them. One of these is super spicy. I'm probably gonna use about half of it in my recipe today. Then you're gonna need your lovely noon salt dani, don't at me. And of course you're gonna need a trusty spoon to make it all go. So why I need these so many spoons in the world? Okay, once you pick a spoon for your lundani, they're married. You have to live with it because now your sab is of this one spoon. For you guys, I'm definitely gonna measure out all the ingredients and let you know what I'm putting into it. But this is my unit of measurement. This is what I learned on. It did have a long, anyways. So you're gonna need this guy as well. If you need to know what kind of spices you need, you're gonna have to see episode 1, where I go over spices and other cooking utensils that you're gonna need to kind of make this happen. So let's get right into it. If you're a pro, at this point you can put your pot on, you can put some oil in and start to kind of season the oil with your jeera. But if you're not a pro, we're gonna take things nice and slow and kind of prep everything so that when we do get over to the pot, we're ready to go. So first things first, I like to do what takes the longest first. We're gonna peel our ginger and our garlic and cut our onion. So I'm gonna do a little bit of movie magic, but I'm gonna give you some tips and tricks on how to make this kind of go easier for you. So first thing on the garlic, we're gonna need, I like to think always about a thumb size. Okay, so I usually just go around and do this and be like, oh, okay, and not very good, okay? So the quickest way to peel ginger is actually with a spoon. I have these little adorable dessert spoons for my use today, but you can really just use any spoon you want. So I'm gonna cut off the section that I wanna use, so about a thumb. No, okay. Without cutting your thumb off, we're gonna cut off of this section. Now, Indian cooking is really subjective. That's why I actually made this series. You'll ask a lot of Indian ladies like, how do I do this? And they're like, I know, nobody really knows. So yes, it is totally up to you. This might be a lot of ginger for you. You might not be a gingery household, but I'm gonna try to teach you guys in the best, most basic kind of, what you'd eat in a restaurant kind of situation. So, peeling the ginger. All we're gonna do is take the front of the spoon and pull back. You're gonna get some nice ginger juice on you. And boom, you're just gonna peel it. And then you can get into all little nooks and crannies with a spoon. That's genius, okay? Spoon. So after we have our ginger all peeled, the next thing we need is garlic. So you can just take a couple of cloves off. I have probably like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5-ish. I like to kind of do the same amount as my ginger. So an easy way to measure is kind of like do this, like do they look the same? Okay, maybe I won't do that one. So a good way to get the shell cut off, well, the peel off the ginger there, garlic there, is to place the clove under your knife, the flat of your knife. Give it a nice crush. Wabam. It is done. So once we have our ginger and our garlic, I personally prefer to make a paste out of it. That way you're not getting big chunks in your sabji if you don't like that sort of thing. You could really do this and prep for the rest of the week, rest of the month, rest of the year. You just need to decide how much you're going to cut, and then you can always freeze it into cubes, into an ice cube tray. Or you can just do it fresh every time. It's really up to you, no judgments, ladies. You're busy ladies, okay? Or busy men. Yeah, you could be that too. So once I have this peeled, TV magic, I'm gonna put it all into my mixie and grind it up. I'm also gonna add half my serrano pepper. So let's flash forward to that. So you have a couple options now of how you wanna grind up your veggies here. Now, if you were a bigger household, if you're making a sabji for more than 4 people, you're gonna wanna use the electric one because the following option isn't gonna work for you. When I was cooking for a smaller group, or cooking less, or maybe just making less tharka, this is the tool I was using and I absolutely love it. I know you're thinking, what kind of paraphernalia is this? But no, okay? So what you can do with this guy is just pop your ginger in, as so. Give it a good turn. And you, my friend, have perfectly minced ginger, garlic, whatever you want, anything. So absolutely, this is something I just picked up on Amazon for about 20 bucks. This company is the one that makes the real ones. It's called Garlic Twist. It's by Next Trend. There's lots of knockoffs out there. I've never tried the knockoffs. I can't say if they're good or bad. This one is very heavy duty, dishwasher safe, so I love it. But let's say you're a bigger situation, or you're just lazy, okay? So I'm just gonna pop all these guys in here. This is just like a little bullet mixer that I have. Pop it on, vroom vroom, 2 seconds, I'll be right back. Now that I've grinded this all up, I will, it's a pretty decent consistency. I kind of like it like this. You can of course make it into a paste. I don't know if you guys can see that, but there you go, there you go. So, now, one of our optional vegetables is tomatoes. And I know you're thinking, what? That go without tomatoes, Niti? Are you crazy? Yes. Okay, so the reason that we do this tomato situation is that some sabjis, dals, don't require a tomato at all. And it'll actually give you a variation on your table. So for example, if you're making 2 sabjis and they both have an identical tharka base, guess what? You've made 2 identical sabji. There was no point. So we always want to add a little bit of variation between our sabjis, emphasize a little bit more on some flavors, just to give us like depth and variety. Otherwise it's the same tharka every day, who cares? So for this sabji in particular, I'm going to be making green beans later, so I am going to use my tomato. I like to chop this guy up like pretty decent, but my husband isn't really a picky guy, either am I. We'll eat big chunks of it, we're down. So just give that a quick slice. And as you'll notice, my knife is facing no resistance on the tomatoes. I'm sure there's crazier knives, but as long as you're getting something kind of like this, it's good. Otherwise, pop over to IKEA and get a new knife. Once we've got our tomato all done, we're gonna do the same thing to the onion. Onion, not optional. You're definitely gonna put it in. I know some people are Jen or they don't cook with onion. I'm sorry guys, I'm a Punjabi girl. We cook everything with onion. It is what it is. So, TV magic, this is gonna be cut in like 35 seconds. And I'll pump the brakes right there for a quick tutorial on how to cut an onion the best. You want to cut it lengthwise without cutting the very edge. So you leave about a finger space. So I'll show you guys. So I've cut my onion all the way through, but it still has the top part to it there, okay? And this way, when I go to dice it, I have no slippery, slidey onion. And the end part that we didn't cut, well, done. And TV magic, gonna do the rest. Welcome to the stove, it's time to get hot. Here we go, we're ready to make our tharka. So first thing first, I'm gonna turn my stove on. We are good. I'm gonna put this at about a medium heat. Most Indian food you can cook at a high temperature, but I don't wanna burn anything and I don't wanna set the alarms off, so this is what I'm doing. So I really like to cook with avocado oil. I just got this one from Costco. Why do I love avocado oil? Well, you can't burn it. Love it. Okay, it has a very high smoke point, which makes it ideal for Indian cooking. So I know you're thinking, oh my god, how much did she put in there? 2 tablespoons. 2 tablespoons, or a nice like drawing. Okay, we'll do it. Now, my husband is super into being like, no tail, no, and just lie. You need the tail. You can't do tharka without tail, okay guys? So, the first thing that's gonna make contact with our tail here is our jeera, okay? So, I really want to use my trusted spoon. But for you guys, I'm going to pull out my measuring spoons. This is a 1 teaspoon measuring spoon. It's going to be the one we use the most, okay? So I like jeera. I've leveled it off. 1 teaspoon, okay? Wow! Jeera. Who says you can't tell people how much to cook with? Who says? Okay, so I have my jeera and I'm gonna let it sit there until it changes color. How do I know it changed color? They all change color. Well, you compare the ones that are in your lumdani to the ones that are in the pot, okay? You want them to turn about 2 to 3 shades darker. Some people like to burn their jeera. More power to you. Burn it all you want. So I'm just gonna wait until I get a nice change in here. You can stir them around a little bit. So finally my jeera has changed colors. Now the second thing to hit our pan is going to be onions, okay? I like to keep everything on my cooking board, but you absolutely can do this in, oh, okay, maybe see, galti ho jati hai abhi to. Take a mess, who cares, okay? So I can already tell from how much sizzling I'm getting, my pan is too hot. I'm gonna slow it down. So we're gonna keep cooking these onions really as long as you'd like. Some people like to brown their onions, some people don't. I'm gonna brown them a little bit. And I do really want you to take a look at what's going on in my pot, so I'm gonna show you. Fabulous. So at this point we are ready to add our ginger and our garlic paste that we made. So I'm just gonna, this is just how I get it out of this. And we're gonna pop it right in there now. Garlic and ginger are gonna be one of the first things to actually start burning in here. So this part we're gonna take very lightly. And we're going to do it just enough so that we get a nice aromatic tharka smell in the air. Enough that your neighbors are like, I'm hungry, but I'm also mad. And that smells delicious. I know all TV cooks say that, but like, I'm for real. Now this is the part where it's Now this is the part where it's going to start to get really aromatic. I want to turn my fan on, but you're not going to be able to hear me, so I'm going to sacrifice this for you guys. This is the part where it's going to start to stick to the bottom of your pan. Now that is okay, it is the ginger. Ginger burns very quickly, cooks very quickly. Now, some people will have you put in green peppers first, or the chili first, and then have you do ginger and garlic. I like to do them all together, just to save time. You're gonna see a lot of different ways of how people make sabji and how people put their tadka together. This is the Niti way. Hopefully it'll soon be your way, but I found this is the easiest. So it's time to add our tomatoes. I'm just gonna slide them in there. Fabulous, excuse my mess, everybody. So give them a good stir when they get in there, but before the tomatoes cook too much, it is time to add the seasoning to our tadka, okay? So we're gonna pull out our nani. Now, what I like to do is add half the salt that I'm gonna need for the recipe now and half into my vegetables. That way everything is seasoned. So I'm gonna go ahead and put about half a teaspoon in there and just sprinkle it. You could probably get your spoon out of there so you don't catch most of it. Half a teaspoon of that. I'm also gonna do half a teaspoon of red mircha, lal mirch if you will. I'm gonna do about a teaspoon of haldi. No amchur for this recipe. And now, when I get to my garam masala, don't get scared, okay guys? I'm gonna switch out for my 1 tablespoon, and I'm gonna do 2 big tablespoons. Now, some people are gonna be like, oh my god, that's so crab. How could you do that much garam masala? I don't care. So now let's give it a good mix. Now, as it cooks, the tomatoes are gonna let go some of their water. This is gonna turn into a beautiful paste. So we're gonna catch up with you in just a second. To the magic, Pungos. Okay, so my tadka is ready, and I'm gonna bring it over there so you can take a look. So you'll see, you can kind of see the onions and tomatoes still. That is up to you. Now, if you want to at this point, you could puree it, you could keep cooking it. It's really up to you. So for me, the sabji that I'm making is a dry sabji. I'm gonna leave it at that, and now I can add my vegetables. Let's say you're cooking a sabji that has aloo in it, something that's harder to cook, potatoes, right? Hard to cook through. You could add them now at this point as well to get that process starting as well. So I hope you have enjoyed my introduction to the tadka. I'm gonna leave it here for now. You'll see these beginning steps in most of my videos, but if you ever forget, this is how you log the tadka, man. Bring the tadka all the way to the yard. I'm gonna have to go answer the door. I'm pretty sure somebody's here, so. Love, respect, peace. Yeah, dosto. Bonus features. So, a couple of things I forgot to mention earlier. That amount of tadka, the stuff that I made, is good for about 1 sabji. Now, how are we qualifying 1 sabji? It's literally the organic amount that comes in that sabji. So, for example, if you're doing gobi cauliflower, it would be for 1 cauliflower. Right now, I just did 1 pack of green beans. I believe they're 500 grams. 1 eggplant, things like that. So that's how much kind of you're expecting to make. You can double, triple, quadruple this recipe for how much ever sabji you need. If you just like a lot of tadka, you want a little bit more like karara spicy in there, add more tadka. So that's a good basic point to start from, but of course, make it your own, girl. You got this.